Hello, and welcome to the online scientific literature searching course. This section is an introduction to search concepts. In this portion, we will be talking about your research question, identifying key concepts, and PICO. When building your research question, there are a few things to consider. Do you have enough background information on your topic? Do you understand the research currently being done and where the research you're doing might fit? What area of the topic do you want to focus on? And what kind of research question are you asking? Different types of research questions will require different types of research studies to answer. What is the most appropriate type of evidence to answer your question? Different questions will have different levels of evidence that apply to them. Consult with your advisors, subject experts, information specialists, and professors. These people can let you know the current state of research in your area and direct you towards relevant research subjects. Review the finer criteria for developing a research question. Think about if your question is feasible, interesting, novel, ethical, and relevant to the current research being done in your field. The finer criteria will help you build a good research question. Feasibility. This talks about what will you actually be able to accomplish in your study. Do you have enough time? Do you have enough patience? Do you have enough background information to do the study that you are planning on doing? Interesting. What is the interest or value in answering this research question? What will it add to the literature? What will people learn from it? Novel. Does it generate new evidence for the current literature? Is this something that has been done before? And if so, what is maybe a different research you could do that takes things a step further, or that helps you go further into your research than has been gone before? What are the ethical implications? On top of wanting to be ethical researchers, most research needs to be approved by an ethics board or committee these days. So it is important to be considering the ethics of your topic before you begin your research. Relevance. Is this question relevant to your field of study? Is it having an impact? What changes might be made based on this research? Once you've formulated your research question, you need to be able to identify and break it down into key concepts. What concepts in your question are the most essential, and what terms or phrases describe your concepts? When trying to identify key concepts, I try and think about a Google search. If you're trying to turn your research question into a 4 to 5 word Google search, what words would you include in that search? Those words are probably going to be the key concepts in your question. For example, if your research question is bariatric surgery or referral to a nutritionist more effective at helping a diabetic patient lose weight? Our key concepts are bariatric surgery, nutritionist, and diabetic patient. Here we can see we broke it out into 3 concepts. Another way to formulate your research question and to easily identify your key concepts is the PICO model. PICO helps frame research questions arising from clinical settings, and it has been adapted as a search concept tool. It stands for Patient Population Problem, Intervention, Comparator or Comparison, and Outcome. You can use the PICO model in 2 ways. The first way is to help you in developing your research question. Make sure that all 4 concepts are present, and you should have a pretty good research question ready to go. The second way to use the PICO model is if you've already developed a research question, you can use it to more easily identify the key concepts. PICO does not fit all types of research questions, but many extensions of PICO have been created. PICO with a small o can be used for qualitative. PEO can be used for qualitative or quantitative studies. Many formats exist to help structure and clarify research questions. These are generally referred to as frameworks. Here we can see I've broken down our previous question into the PICO format. Our patient is diabetics, our intervention is bariatric surgery, our comparison is a nutritionist, and our outcome is weight loss. You can also have a PICO question without a comparison or where you're using a placebo as the comparison. Here we see an example of PICO with the small o. Population or problem, phenomenon of interest, and context or setting. What are the experiences of caregivers providing home care to patients with Alzheimer's disease in the United States? You can see why this might be a more effective way of framing qualitative questions instead of quantitative questions. We also have PEO, which is much simpler and can cover a broad range of research questions. PEO stands for Population or Problem, Exposure, and Outcomes. Are female auto workers working with metal fluid at risk in developing breast cancer? Here, our exposure is something that somebody might come into contact with at work. But exposure could also talk about diseases. This table includes many different types of frameworks as well as examples of where they're most effective. At any time, you can come back and review this table to see if any of them fit the research you are doing better than the 3 that we covered more in depth during this video. Thank you for your attention, and please feel free to visit our online guide to see more about future classes we're offering as well as to schedule a one-on-one consultation. Or you can email us at support_med@ub.unib.ch.